be gay in Hollywood, you never expected. They be having these big mansion parties, and the mansion party, the whole mansion is a party, and then it's a separate party in the little rooms. I ain't been famous that goddamn long. I'm excited in a mother to be at the mansion party. You be looking at all the goddamn rooms, and you around and look in the wrong room. And
Katt Williams just dropped another bomb, and this time he's not playing around. After years of hinting about Diddy's late-night parties, he's now saying it wasn't only Diddy in the mix, he's pointing fingers straight at Will Smith. According to Katt, there were secret rooms where wild things went down, artists acting out of character once the doors shut, and now names are finally being whispered out loud. The first one to pop up, August Alsina. Back in the mid-2000s, August wasn't just a rising R&B star. The man was fighting through real pain, serious health struggles, and non-stop pressure from the music game. That's when his path crossed with Jada Pinkett Smith through Jaden. At least on the surface, Jada showed up like a mentor, presenting herself as someone who wanted to help him heal and find balance. But August later said that what started as guidance became a full-blown relationship. And here's where things got wild.
All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is, TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way know why they take it.
He claimed Will Smith knew about it and even gave it the green light. That single claim blew up the internet like a grenade. Some people called it two adults making personal choices, while others felt like August got pulled into something way deeper, a family situation that had way too many cracks to begin with. Many fans believe August didn't walk away healed at all. Instead, he looked drained, broken, and emotionally torn apart after everything with Jada. And just when folks thought that story had cooled off, August's name started floating around again, this time connected to Sean P. Diddy Combs himself. Things just keep getting messier. By 2018, August Alsina wasn't just on the sidelines anymore. He was right in the middle of that inner circle. Industry events, private gatherings, elite access. He was everywhere. On the outside, it looked like he was just moving up, making smart career connections. But behind the scenes, the whispers started getting darker. People on the streets began asking if this was really about music, or if August had been pulled into something way bigger. A system that lifts people up fast, then spits them out the moment they're no longer useful. That's when the long-running rumors about Will Smith came storming back. Word going around was that Will was the one who introduced August to Diddy, and that made folks start connecting dots they weren't supposed to. These talks weren't new though. People online had been speculating for years about Will's private life, his boundaries, and what really happens when the cameras stop rolling. Things took a sharp turn when Will's former assistant, brother Bilal, came forward with wild claims, saying Will had been involved in secret relationships with men. He said it was all on the low. Will fired back fast, denying everything and calling those accusations straight up lies. Jada stepped in too, standing by him publicly and even talking about taking legal action.
I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation due to the transformation from their marriage to life partnership that they've spoken on several times, and it, not involving romanticism. Mm-hmm. He gave me his blessing. And I totally gave myself to that relationship for years of my life, and I truly and really, really deeply loved and have a ton of love for.
But then, something unexpected happened. Bilal didn't back down one bit. Instead, he called their bluff, saying, "Go ahead and sue me," claiming that if they did, he'd bring out the receipts, the evidence, the whole truth. Things were officially getting tense. I don't know about you, but when someone stands that firm in the middle of legal threats, it makes people pay attention. Most folks who are bluffing usually back down once lawsuits start getting mentioned, but Bilal didn't flinch for a second. What made it even wilder was that after he threw down that challenge, Jada went totally silent. No response, no shade, nothing. Almost 2 years passed and not a single legal move was made. Then out of nowhere, on January 3rd, 2026, Bilal popped back up on Tasha K's podcast, repeating the same claims word for word. He reminded everyone that after all this time, nobody had taken him to court. That silence alone had people talking louder than ever. Meanwhile, the stories about Will allegedly showing up at Diddy's ultra-private parties started heating up again. People claimed those were the type of events where phones got locked away, cameras banned, and secrecy ruled the night. Nobody knew what really went on, but the mystery only fueled the rumors even more. That's when old clips of Katt Williams started making rounds again. He once said, "If you play the Hollywood game right, doors open wide, but if you don't, it turns into a nightmare." Those words started hitting different once the Diddy investigations got serious. Will stayed quiet through most of the chaos, not saying much about Diddy's scandals, until the legal storm got way too big to ignore. When the RICO charges came down, the energy around everything shifted. Suddenly, Will's name vanished from most of the talk, almost like it was scrubbed clean overnight. The only thing that popped up after that was a short moment during one of his stand-up appearances in San Diego, where he casually denied everything, even though old clips still showed him calling Diddy his brother. August Alsina, meanwhile, was falling apart in plain sight. From 2020 through 2022, his life looked like a slow-motion breakdown. Emotional interviews, long stretches of silence, and real struggles with his mental health. When he sat down with Angela Yee and openly confirmed his relationship with Jada, everything shifted. The raw emotion in his words shook the entire culture, especially when he explained how much that whole situation drained him inside. That interview pushed Jada straight to the red table talk, where she dropped that now famous word, entanglement. She tried to frame it as a journey about personal growth and healing, saying it was all part of learning and evolving. But while she spoke about growth, August looked like he was left picking up the pieces. People close to him described him as
broken, emotionally wrecked, and struggling to find his footing again after the whole thing blew up.
What you talking about?
What?
So, but Philly's a very dangerous place. Always been a very dangerous place. So that day it was 6 people in the studio. It was me and I who actually hosted the show. It was the gangster and his friend. And it was Will and Charlie who ended up coming to the studio. And a guy that I call Charlie the Rat Mac now, but I'll get into that.
It didn't take long before the talk around him turned even darker. Rumors started swirling that August wasn't just part of a relationship, he was being used. Allegedly, he was kept close during Will Smith's public storms as a distraction, someone to pull attention away from whatever else might have been brewing behind the scenes. Fans started wondering if August had been caught in something way bigger than he ever realized. This wasn't about love or healing anymore. It was about strategy. Insiders claimed August was under pressure to stay quiet, keep his head down, and play his role without shaking the table. It wasn't romance, it was control. Less about connection, more about containment. Names like Jaguar Wright and Orlando Brown had been hinting at this same pattern for years, talking about manipulation hidden behind smiles, mentorship that turned into power games, and young artists getting emotionally crushed behind closed doors. Whether people believe those stories or not, the overlaps are hard to ignore.
You still have those same rumors out about people you love, like Will and Dwayne.
I know.
That just came out too recently.
Yeah, and let me just say this. It's ridiculous, right? And it's nonsense. And this is a person that tried a money shakedown that didn't work. We're gonna take legal action. Because it's one thing to have your opinion about somebody versus just making up salacious, malicious stories. So that's actionable, so we're gonna roll with that.
The same themes, the same players, and suddenly new questions started popping up when Joyner Lucas made that little joke about the extreme security at Will's house. He said it lightly, like it was no big deal, but fans were quick to read between the lines. Why would anyone need that level of security at a private gathering? Was it just a superstar being cautious? Or was there something deeper being protected, something that couldn't afford to get out? Then another name came spinning back into the conversation. Brycer Gray, once one of the brightest stars from Empire. His fall was fast and painful. Arrests, public meltdowns, mental health struggles, and a total career crash. According to resurfaced claims from Bilal and Jaguar Wright, Brycer was allegedly pulled into those same Hollywood circles way too early and crushed by powers way bigger than him. And the way their stories connect still gives people chills. Lawsuits soon started flying, filled with accusations of sabotage, psychological harm, and full-blown exploitation. Bilal even claimed that Brysher Gray broke down during private talks, completely shattered emotionally, saying he'd been taken advantage of by powerful men, allegedly including both Will and Diddy. That claim alone sent shockwaves through the industry. Then the spotlight shifted again, this time toward Jaden Smith. Online chatter started building fast, with people questioning what kind of world he'd been exposed to growing up around all that fame and influence. Will quickly denied every single rumor, standing firm against the accusations, but the internet wasn't buying it, not with so many stories starting to sound alike, and not with how often young men in that same circle seemed to spiral afterward.
At you said as a money shakedown, you said a lot of things about me to get other networks or other podcasters or bloggers scared for me to come on because they think they're gonna be sued. Well, Tasha wasn't sued and I wasn't sued. So you got 2 weeks to issue an apology because me and Will's situation were about business. And I want you to sue. If not, Jada, I'ma sue you. I'ma sue you because you know that you're a liar and you know that the things that you said were.
From there, the trail circled right back to Usher. People began remembering how, as a teenager, Usher actually lived with Diddy. That's public record. Old interviews resurfaced where he once described that environment as curious, a word that suddenly felt way heavier than before. Years later, Usher said something that hit even harder, that he would never let his own kids go through what he went through. Back then, it sounded like just a passing comment, but now, with everything coming out, it feels loaded, like a quiet confession wrapped in regret. No way. Wait, and that's exactly what brings us to Justin Bieber. Justin was barely a teenager when he got pulled into Diddy's world, and old clips still show Diddy bragging about spending 48 hours with him, teasing that whatever happened couldn't even be talked about. He even said, "I signed Usher," like that somehow explained it all. Back then, people laughed it off like it was just playful talk, but now, with everything coming to light about secret parties and that so-called freak-off culture, that same footage hits totally different. When you look back at Justin's adult years, the breakdowns, the long disappearances, the emotional interviews about betrayal, and cutting off certain people from his early career, it all starts to sound like someone who's been through way too much. Later, Justin started openly talking about wanting to protect younger artists, even reaching out to Billie Eilish in public, offering guidance and support. At first, it seemed random, but when fans put the pieces together, it felt like a message from someone who'd seen things he never wanted anyone else to go through. When you step back and really look at the full picture, it doesn't seem like a single story anymore. It feels like a long-running pattern. Young talent getting invited into powerful circles, promised mentorship and opportunity, but ending up carrying the emotional scars once the spotlight fades. And through all of this, the powerful ones always seem to stay untouchable. Will Smith's silence, Diddy's long history, those resurfaced claims from insiders, and the repeating stories of young stars breaking down after getting too close. It all paints a picture that's hard to ignore. Nobody's saying everything is confirmed, but the streets don't keep repeating the same story for no reason. Too many names, too many overlaps, and too many people coming out of those same environments looking broken and changed forever. With more voices speaking up and more receipts being hinted at, this saga doesn't feel anywhere near over, so the question still stands. What really went down behind those closed doors? If you're locked into this kind of deep breakdown and want more wild industry stories like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Don't miss the next drop, because what's coming next is even crazier. Turn on those notifications, stay tapped in, and let's keep digging into what's really going on behind the fame.